Hello and welcome to episode 414 of the Daily Sales Message podcast, where every single day I share a piece of simple and actionable advice. It's designed to help you feel more confident and sell more stuff too. Now, today we're talking about what I call the implied problem. Now, within sales and marketing and selling, there's things as tofu, bofu, mofu, so top of funnel, bottom of funnel, middle of funnel, problem aware, solution aware. All these things make perfect sense. But for the lay person, the average man or woman in the street, it's all a bit gobbledygooky, isn't it? We're like, do they want to buy or not? And how we know they want to buy comes down to the problems that they have. And one of them might be this, the implied problem. So you might be talking to somebody where they're telling you about things that are happening, but they don't actually realize that it's the problem that you solve. So in a hypothetical scenario, I might be talking to somebody where they're saying, yeah, I just don't know what to say. I don't feel confident. I get asked these questions and blah, 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 etc. For me, that's an implied problem. So they're telling me the symptoms they've got. The problem is their messaging. That's it. But they don't realize that. So they're not saying, my messaging's off. It doesn't work. They're saying, I find these situations difficult. So the buyer focuses on the symptoms and the situations they experience. It's up to you to talk about the problems that they have. So when you're talking to your potential buyers, just listen out for what they're saying to you in the clues, because they might not be, as marketing spiel would have it, problem aware. They might not even be aware there's a problem. They might say, it's a bit of an annoyance, and that's it. So they might not be problem aware. It's up to you to point it out to them. And even more better if you've given the problem a name and you're able to really articulate the problem. I've said it time and time again, but your ability to define the problem that your buyers are facing implies your ability to solve the problem that your buyers are facing. And that's really compelling for me as a buyer. If you can tell me the problem I've got, why I'm experiencing it, how to fix it, and it's also got a catchy name, then it certainly sounds like, you're talking about take my money now, please. So that's the implied problem. Sometimes you're going to be speaking to people who aren't even aware they've got a problem that you can solve. They're certainly not aware of the solution. You might not know about mofu, tofu, bofu, all this kind of stuff, and maybe you don't need to, but you have to understand that sometimes you're talking to people who are just complaining about the bad things that are happening to them, the difficult situations. They don't necessarily realize what the problem is, and it's up to you to educate them and then tell them about the solution. Right, that's it for this episode of the podcast. Tomorrow in episode 415. This is an interesting phenomenon. It's happened to me in the past couple of years. I've noticed this. When somebody, so let's say somebody emails me and says, hey, James, meet Jack. Jack does this, blah, blah, blah. Jack, meet James, da, 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 da. And I go, oh, hi, guys. Hi, Jack. Nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. There's something about that introduction that I'm likely to get wrong. Well, not anymore because I've realized what I was doing. But I might be likely to get wrong. And you're probably getting it wrong too. So tune in tomorrow and we'll talk about that and hopefully save you from wasting your time and wasting some potential opportunities. That's it for this episode of the podcast. If you haven't already, please hit the like or subscribe, share button, comment down below whether you're watching or listening to the podcast. Interact with it in some way. It just helps us to reach more people. Thank you for listening or watching all the way to the end. I appreciate it. I'll catch you tomorrow for another exciting edition of the Daily Sales Message.